good, y'all? I'm back from a little hiatus. Had to reevaluate a couple things going on in my life, but I'm back to kick this real shit. So Saturday night, Brandon Rios knocks out Mike Alvarado in the third round to win two fights out of a trilogy. Let's give him a round of applause. It's a good win, right? Now let's get to the real shit, cause this is real talk for real fans. Who gives a fuck? Right? I mean, this is a fight between two fighters that have been on the decline. Mike Alvarado lost his last three fights when you include this one. Before this fight, he lost his last two, right? And he lost three of his last four before this fight. Now it's four of his last five. He's a declining fighter. Brandon Rios looked bad against Diego Chavez, and he fucking lost to Manny Pacquiao very badly. Actually had him losing to Chavez. If the referee didn't go in there and disqualify Chavez for no fucking reason, Brandon Rios would have lost his last two fights, right? So this is two fighters on the decline nobody fucking cares about. And it's a fight that's the main event on HBO. Shit, they would have done better to have like a Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti type of clash, and it lasts the whole 10, 12 rounds. I don't even know how many rounds it was. Be honest with you, I fucking totally forgot this fight was even happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the mall, you know what I'm saying, with the Bonnie and my seeds, and it's like damn near, I think it's like 8:45 at the mall. And I'm thinking I ain't got no shit to do for the rest of the night. You know what I'm saying? I get home only to realize, just because sometimes when I'm just, you know what I'm saying, I'm in think mode, shit just pops up into my head. But when I get back to the crib, I'm like, oh shit, there's a fight on tonight. And I wasn't exactly sure which fight it was. So I went online and did some research. I don't have cable, I stream everything. But I went online, did some research, and I saw it was Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado. So I get to the fight, it's already round three. When I got to this fight, when I turned this fight on, it was going into the third round. Both fighters were sitting in their corners. That's when I started watching this fight, because who gives a fuck? Granted, I'm a diehard boxing fan. I am, but this is a fight that I really did not care about. Like, I really, honestly, did not give a fuck about this fight. I mean, Mike Alvarado is not an elite fighter. Brandon Rios is not an elite fighter. As a boxing fan, yes, we do cherish pretty much, rock'em sock'em slugfest, right? We cherish that because it's something that we want to see every once in a while. Blood all over the place, motherfuckers getting knocked out, getting knocked down six times in the ring and shit. It's something that we do cherish as boxing fans, as diehard boxing fans, right? But at the same time, we want to see matchups between the best, not between the second tier guys, the third tier guys, not between two guys who are on the decline. You know what I'm saying? This is literally like watching the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Philadelphia 76ers. And you getting all geared up on a Saturday night to watch that fucking basketball game. Two sorry ass teams in the NBA. It's the same type of matchup, right? Boxing is a sport for, it's basically known as what have you done for me lately? Well, lately, both of these motherfuckers have been at the bottom of the barrel. So who gives a fuck? Honestly, I'm going to tell you something about Brandon Rios, what I think about him. I never liked Brandon Rios as an elite fighter. I never thought he was good enough. In my opinion, he lost to, his name is now Richard, but back then it was Richard Abreu. He ran into the straight right hand for 12 rounds. And that was at the lightweight division before he even made a major name for himself when he moved up to welterweight and fought Mike Alvarado the first time, right? So, honestly, back then, against Richard Abreu, I thought he already wasn't good enough to be elite. I was just waiting for him to fight somebody and lose. Kind of like how I thought of Peter Quillen. He's another guy. I'm just waiting on this dude to fight somebody meaningful so he can take his first L. That's the same feeling I have for Brandon Rios. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't shit to me. This fight wasn't shit to me. Congratulations, to Brandon Rios for not becoming a bum or a gatekeeper just yet. But if he keeps fighting, he will become one. Some of the names that he's thrown out there is Tim Bradley, Juan Manuel Marquez, Ruslan Provodnikov, Victor Ortiz, Manny Pacquiao rematch. If he fights Provodnikov, Manny Pacquiao, Juan Marquez, those three fights, I think he loses. He loses those three fights immediately. Tim Bradley as well. So 4 out of the 5 names that he named, he will lose. I think he beats sorry ass Victor Ortiz. That's another bottom of the barrel guy. You know what I'm saying? That's another guy that nobody gives a fuck about. It's funny to hear him say shit like he's gonna be guaranteed Hall of Fame status once he retires. It's funny to hear him say some shit like that and then watch his fight. You know what I'm saying? It's entertainment. It's kind of like a we're laughing at you, not with you type of deal. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much the sentiments we have for fucking Victor Ortiz. So Brandon Rios fighting him would just be another one of these type of fights. You know what I'm saying? It's actually more entertaining than the Mike Alvarado trilogy because these two guys have hated each other since childhood. So it's actually a little entertaining because you're seeing two guys that truly hate each other and should have fought a long ass time ago. You know what I'm saying? They were just in separate weight classes. So now they're pretty much there. This fight was for the WBO interim welterweight championship, another alphabet title nobody gives a fuck about, but it was for that. So I guess Brandon Rios is now a full-fledged welterweight, and that's the same weight class that Victor Ortiz is in. So maybe we get to see that fight. You know what? I'm gonna cut him a little slack. I'll watch that fight, and I promise Brandon I won't forget that it's coming on the day of the fight. I promise I won't forget, dog. My bet. But if he fights Victor Ortiz, I'll watch it simply because it's just a fight between two guys that truly hate each other since childhood. That's the only reason. If that storyline wasn't there, it'd be another fight I'd fucking forget on the docket. Straight up. But shouts out to Brandon Rios. Congratulations on his win. Like I said, for not being a complete bum. Because if he would have lost his fight, he would have been a complete bum or a gatekeeper. He actually said that he was going to retire. I mean, I would have been cool with that too. Really don't bother me. He's not somebody that changes the game, for the sport of boxing. It's not somebody that anybody would miss, in my fucking opinion. I don't mean to be too hard on dude, but it is what it is. This is real talk. You know what I'm saying? Um, I hope to God that Bob Arum does not do a rematch between him and Manny Pacquiao. I do not want to see another 12-round slaughter. And I saw a little article. I didn't read the entire article. I just watched, or I looked at the headline of the article. Basically, Robert Garcia is saying that this particular Brandon Rios, that just beat Mike Alvarado, would give Manny Pacquiao hell in a rematch. And I beg to fucking differ. I didn't see anything. Brandon Rios is not the type of fighter. He doesn't change anything. He does the same shit. You know what I'm saying? He runs into punches. All Mike Alvarado had to do was stand back and box like he did in the second fight. But for some reason, he had this Oliver McCall mentality. I mean, look at his face right here. He gets hit by straight right hand, and he looks like he's about to cry and shit. For my boxing fans, my real boxing fans, y'all remember the rematch between Lennox Lewis and Oliver McCall, right? In the first fight, Oliver McCall knocked out Lennox Lewis, got an immediate rematch, and then Oliver McCall, apparently he was on drugs. And this is a true story. I played basketball with Oliver McCall's older brother. His name was Frank McCall. I played basketball with him. He lived down the street from me when I was a teenager, still in high school. And I actually asked him. I said, "Hey man, like what was wrong with your brother?" You know what I'm saying? And he said his brother was on drugs. This is a true story. He said that his brother was on drugs that night of the fight, and that's why he was crying and shit. That's what Mike Alvarado looks like in this picture. Looks like he's crying. He about to cry and shit off this straight right hand. And pretty much, I went back and looked at highlights of the fight, and that's what it looked like from the opening bell. This is my post fight for this fight. Brandon Rios walks out. Mike Alvarado walks out. Bell rings for round one. Fight's over. That's my post fight, because that's exactly what the fuck happened. Mike Alvarado was done from round one. So that's it, man. I just wanted to rant a little bit. I've been on a little hiatus. I had to come back, hit y'all with some real shit. What do y'all think? Do y'all think this is a good win for Brandon Rios? Are y'all interested in seeing Brandon Rios fight any of those five guys I named? Tim Bradley, Manny Pacquiao, Ruslan Provodnikov, Juan Manuel Marquez, or Victor Ortiz. These are all the guys that he's been shouting out or that Bob Arum's been saying that he might potentially put in front of him. Are you guys interested in him fighting any of those five fighters? Let me know what y'all think. Drop me a comment. Do what you do, but be real. This is real talk for real fans. One.